This is Orson Welles, speaking from London. Here in the grim stone structure on the Thames, which houses Scotland Yard, is a warehouse of souvenirs, where everyday objects, a broom, a vase, a lampshade, all are touched by murder.
Welcome to Reimagined Radio, a program about sound-based storytelling. With each episode, we explore how dialogue, sound effects, and music can engage your listening imagination and promote storytelling. Here to tell you about this episode is John Barber, producer and host.
In 1870, a collection of ordinary objects, each associated with crime and murder, was assembled at Scotland Yard, headquarters for London's Metropolitan Police. Its purpose was to train police officers in the detection and prevention of crime. An 1877 newspaper article introduced the name the Black Museum, saying the collection, quote, describes whatever is darkest in human nature, unquote. Closed to the public, shrouded in intrigue and mystery, the Black Museum inspired the chronicling of hundreds of Scotland Yard's cases worldwide in popular crime novels, pulp fiction, and 4 radio series that use the Black Museum as their subject. We sample from each of these to explore this unusual collection as it is portrayed by radio storytelling. It's an interesting story. I hope you'll stick around and listen to The Black Museum. The 4 radio series focusing on the Black Museum are Secrets of Scotland Yard, The Black Museum, Whitehall 1212, and Fabian of the Yard. We'll sample in that order. Secrets of Scotland Yard was produced by Harry Alan Towers and syndicated internationally as early as 1948 by his company, Towers of London. Early episodes were narrated by American actor Clive Brooke, star of the 1932 Fox motion picture Sherlock Holmes. London crime reporter Percy Hoskins consulted for the series. Learn more about Hoskins and follow along with the script available at the episode page of our website, reimaginedradio.fm. Here are samples from the Bank of England robbery episode of Secrets of Scotland Yard. Clive Brooke narrates. Enjoy listening.
Standing on an island site in the heart of the City of London is the home of the Old Lady of Threadneedle Street. This is the affectionate name by which the Bank of England is known the world over. Her stone walls are guarded at night by a company of guardsmen, and her gold and good name are guarded by day by the vigil of the clerks and managers. This is as true today as it was equally true almost 100 years ago. The time is the year 1873.
Thank goodness you're here, Inspector. I felt that if any man could help us, it would be you.
Oh, very kind of you, Mr. May. Well, now, suppose you give me all the facts of the case.
Well, this morning, I had a message from Colonel Fraser, who is the manager of our West End branch. Among the bills cleared by him yesterday were 2 notes to the value of £1,000 each, in the name of a very respectable financier, Mr. Blydenstein.
And these bills were, I presume, credited to the account of one of your customers at the West End branch?
Yes, the account of a Mr. Warren. I need hardly add that there's been no grounds for suspicion in connection with Mr. Warren's account. We've had bills against some of the most reputable bankers and financiers in Europe, including Rothschild. And in every case, the bills were genuine, because they've been met.
Yes, but this one against
Mr. Blydenstein.
Yes, this is a forgery.
That is correct. And the awful thing is that we might not have known it for some time if it hadn't been for the mistake.
Oh, what mistake?
Well, on this particular bill, there was no date. It was noticed by one of the clerks, and Colonel Fraser sent it round to Mr. Blydenstein to have the correct date added. It was then we learnt it was a forgery.
And what's the state of his account?
Well, there's about £5,000 in it. A very considerable amount of money has passed through the account in the past few months, and most of it has been withdrawn through cheques made payable to a Mr. Horton, who has an account at the Continental Bank in London.
Oh. And in the meantime, the Bank of England has credited Mr. Warren. About how much money do these bills represent?
Well, I've only glanced at the figures, but I should estimate it must be something in the neighbourhood of £100,000.
It transpired that every one of the bills held by the Bank of England were forged. All the genuine bills that had been passed through the account of Mr. Warren during the previous year had been used by the gang both to create confidence in Mr. Warren's stability and to act as a basis for the forgeries they were planning to carry out. Needless to say, Horton, Warren, and every trace of the money had completely disappeared. The hunt was on. It needed no great feat of detection on the part of Scotland Yard and Pinkerton to identify Horton and Warren as George Bidwell and George MacDonald.
We know for certain that MacDonald left England before the very first forged bill was lodged at the bank. He was taking no risk. He went to France, and so far we haven't picked up his trail. But we've reason to suspect, however, that he's headed for South America. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that if MacDonald has got away, Bidwell is still in this country. We're having every port watched, and we're putting our own Scotland Yard men to keep an eye on the American boats. I don't think he'll get away.
He managed to make his way to Dublin. He put up at a small hotel and might well have escaped detention if he hadn't left behind him his scarf with the initials GB. This was seen by one of the maids.
I found this in his room, sir. He must have left it out when he was packing.
Ah, this is our man, all right. I want every man you can spare to watch all the trains from Dublin tonight.
Very good, sir.
He must not get away. He must not get away.
Bidwell was followed. He took flight and tried to get away. This time he did not succeed. Have you noticed one thing about this story? At each stage, the almost perfect crime was spoilt not by the vigilance of the bank or the law, but by those little errors which, as we've learned in the series, time after time give the criminals away. Remember, those two bills which led to their downfall were not detected because they were forged, but because he'd forgotten to fill in the date. Again, after all Bidwell's ingenuity to avoid arrest, he put the police on his trail in Dublin by forgetting to pack his scarf. The Bank of England robbery was called the crime of the century, but like most other crimes, it was far from being perfect.
That was the Bank of England robbery episode from Secrets of Scotland Yard, a dramatization of the investigation of the 1873 Bank of England robbery by George Bidwell and George MacDonald. If you're interested to know more, check out Bidwell's autobiography, Forged His Chains, published in 1888, which provides a detailed account of his activities leading up to and after the bank forgery. There's lots more information at our episode webpage as well, reimaginedradio.fm. This is John Barber. Thank you for listening to Reimagined Radio. Another program you might find interesting is The Fusebox Show. Produced by Mark Rose, Milt Keynes, and Jeff Pollard, each episode features unique conversation and commentary that goes where even late-night television talk show hosts fear to tread. Listen to these examples.
Fusebox. Yeah, I can see it now. A Donald J. Trump humanitarian project called the Make a Grift Foundation, with 100% of the donations going to Donald J. Trump, of course.
Definitely believable.
TheFuseboxShow.com.
The Fusebox Show is available as podcasts. Learn more at their website, thefuseboxshow.com. This is Reimagined Radio. We're sampling from 4 radio series focusing on the Black Museum, a collection of crime and murder artifacts held at Scotland Yard, headquarters for London's Metropolitan Police. Next is the Black Museum. Often cited as the best of the 4 series, the Black Museum is also produced and syndicated by Harry Allen Towers. Star power is provided by American actor Orson Welles, who narrates each episode. It's an interesting arrangement between Towers and Welles. Learn the details at the episode webpage at our website, reimaginedradio.fm. Instead of famous cases, Towers and Welles take a different approach, focusing on Scotland Yard's unusual collection of artifacts associated with crimes. Let's listen to samples from A Tan Shoe, Left Foot, an early episode of the Black Museum.
Well, here we are in the Black Museum, Scotland Yard's Museum of Murder. Here lies death, violent, unexpected death. Here in the objects that line the shelves and fill the room are the stories of murder. Here we are. Here's the tan shoe. A left foot shoe. The darkish stain near the heel, inside and out, couldn't be disguised with polish. But there was no stain on it that morning of May the 20th, 1930, when the 2 men, one wearing this particular shoe, walked along the platform at Newcastle Station.
I tell you, John, my firm regard me most highly.
In what way?
Well, as you know, they allow me to travel with the colliery wages each Friday. From the bank in Newcastle to our office at Olmouth.
Yes, a very responsible child. Come, my friend, admit the truth.
What truth, John?
Well, they really don't allow you to travel unescorted with so much money in that black leather bag.
Oh, yes, they do.
But there's no guard cunningly posted someone else on the train to watch you?
None whatsoever. Morning, Collins.
Oh, good morning, Benny.
Fine chap. He's a clerk with a neighbouring colliery. Now, come on, John. I think this is our carriage.
Oh, it seems to be empty.
Splendid. We can have a good talk during the hour journey to Olmouth. Now, come on, sit down and make yourself at home.
So the train sped along the northeastern line. Eton, Stannington, Morpeth. Small station stops along the line. At Morpeth, the train took up water. A few people got out to stretch their legs. Some passed through the barrier and gave up their tickets. Among them was a man in a grey overcoat.
Your tickets for Olmouth?
Oh, yes, I've changed my mind. I'm getting off here, thank you.
Richard, ticket, please.
4 minutes later, the train left Morpeth and went on its way to Olmouth. There, the passengers alighted. The journey was over. A porter then proceeded to clean the train, as was usual. But in one of the empty carriages, he made a gruesome discovery. A stream of blood running from under the seat. He bent down to look and found the carriage not so empty as he'd imagined.
Help, please. Somebody's been murdered.
But he had indeed been murdered. And the next logical step, after the local police had been hurriedly brought to the scene of the crime, was to send for Scotland Yard.
Inspector Morton, sir, from Scotland Yard.
Oh, Inspector, come in. Glad to renew your acquaintance.
Eyes up.
Sit down, sit down. Well, in answer to your question, I'm worried. Deuced worried.
First of all, sir, would you supply me with some preliminary facts? How much do you know about the murdered man?
The chief constable explained it all to the London detective. The dead man's name was Wallace Bennett, a meek and faithful little man. For the past 20 years, he'd worked for the leading collier in the district. For the past 5 years, he'd been their paymaster, traveling with his cash bag to pay the miners' wages each week in Almouth. Now there were other things, and other people to see. Among them, the doctor.
Yes, Inspector. I was called in by the local police when the body was discovered.
And what did you determine as the cause of death, Doctor?
There were 4 bullets in the body, one of which entered the left lung and one the heart.
Yes.
The other 2 were lodged in the brain.
The motive was clear enough. Robbery. Somewhere was a bag and 400 pounds. And there also was a murderer. But where? Who was it? Morton found it hard those first few days. Hard because there were no leads. There was a body, a missing cash bag, and 4 bullets. That was all. Dead ends. Wherever they looked, dead ends. A twist of fate, a new chance witness was to revive the investigation, set it back on the trail which led to the murderer and the bloodstained shoe, that same tan shoe, which can be seen today in the Black Museum. The witness came in on the 3rd day, the morning after the funeral. He was a short, dark-haired man whose name was Collins. He asked to see the inspector in charge of the case.
Now, what was it you wished to see me about?
Well, about Bennett's, about his murder.
Yes?
I met him on Newcastle Station that morning before he boarded the train.
You saw him then? Was he carrying his cash bag?
Yes, he was. I've seen Bennett travel down to Almouth every Friday for years, but this morning I particularly noticed him because...
Why?
Because he usually traveled alone.
Wasn't he alone last Friday?
No, he had someone with him. They were walking along the station together. I saw them get into the same compartment.
Now, for the first time, Bennett's train companion entered the case. Inspector Morton wanted to know more, a lot more. Was the man a friend of Bennett's? Did he, Collins, know him?
No, I didn't know the man, Inspector. He was a stranger to me.
Can you give me a description of this man?
Well, I noticed he was shortish, about my height. That's 5'7".
Yes. Anything else?
He was fair, small moustache.
Good. And his clothes?
He was wearing a grey overcoat, grey soft felt hat, and a dark grey suit. At least I could see his dark grey trousers, a red tie, I think. Oh yes, and tan brogue shoes.
You're very observant, Mr. Collins. Did you by any chance notice when he left the train?
Yes, at Morpeth.
You're sure of that?
Certain. I got out to stretch my legs when the train took up water there. I saw him go through the barrier and give up his ticket.
Out of the blue, a witness and a lead at last. It happens that way. A person remembers some incident, some unusual detail, and the trail begins. Inspector Morton hurried to Morpeth and interviewed the ticket collector.
A man in a grey overcoat. Last Friday, you said, sir?
Yes, a short, fair man, dark grey suit, a small moustache. Do you remember him?
Funny, I do remember. He had a ticket to Almouth.
But he gave it up here?
Yes, he said he'd changed his mind or something.
Did you notice if he was carrying a small black bag?
I couldn't say what it was, sir. He had it inside his coat, covered up. It looked bulky.
Inside his coat? Thank you. Thank you very much.
A casual question had brought an encouraging, unexpected answer. The man who had left the train at Morpeth was concealing something bulky beneath his overcoat. The black cash bag was missing, and this man had traveled in the same train, according to a witness, in the very same compartment. All they had to do now was find him. And then fate, strange, incredible fate intervened. Or was it fate? Perhaps it was stupidity or the unconscious urge to brag that lies hidden in every murderer. Anyway, it happened that same week at a hotel bar in London. 2 men drinking in a bar, 2 casual acquaintances. It might never have happened, but it did happen. And when one of them, his mind filled with misgivings and doubts, went to the police the next morning, Scotland Yard was speedily informed.
Now, let's hear the story. Your name's Blakey, is it? That's right, sir. I'm a bus driver. This fella I was drinking with, he used to work for our company once.
Do you know him well?
Well, no, hardly at all. I met him in the pub last night and he kept on buying me drinks. Then he brought out this great fistful of money.
How much money would you say?
Oh, 200 or 300 quid, I think. Well, maybe I'm misjudging him, sir, but, well, I heard about the murder in Newcastle and the money being pinched.
You did the right thing, Blakey. Don't worry about that. What's the man's name?
Linkman. John Linkman, I think it is.
Do you know where he lives?
No, I've not the faintest idea about that. But you'll find him most nights down at the Roundhead Arms, sir. In the bar there.
The Roundhead Arms, a small pub on a London side street, a long way from the scene of the murder. But here, that same evening, went Inspector Morton.
What'll it be for you, sir?
I'll order in a minute, miss, thanks. I'm waiting for a friend.
Okay.
You might happen to know him. He's one of your regular customers. John Linkman.
Johnny Linkman? Oh, yes, I know him. There he is now, just coming in. Hello, Johnny, love.
Hello, Ruby. Find a bitter.
Better make it two. You've got a friend waiting for you.
Oh? Never mind the drinks, miss. John Linkman?
Yes, who are you?
Inspector Morton from Scotland Yard.
Scotland Yard?
What do you want with me?
Where were you last Friday, Mr. Linkman?
Minding my own business.
Then where did you get the very large sum of money you've been carrying with you lately?
Money? What money?
I think you know to what I'm referring. May I see the contents of your pockets?
Certainly not.
Then you'll force me to go through the formality of a search warrant.
Oh, all right. Here, a pen.
Yes.
Some silver and this.
£1 notes. At a guess, about 300 of them.
Linkman was held in custody. Meanwhile, Morton and a sergeant went to search his home. They searched the bedroom, the cramped lounge room with its fading wallpaper, the bathroom, the kitchen. Then, in the second bedroom.
I've got something, Inspector. A tan shoe, sir. Left foot. What do you make of this stain?
It looks to me like blood. We'll take it back with us and have it tested.
In the laboratory at Scotland Yard, they found out it was blood. The bank in Newcastle identified the notes. In a police lineup, Collins identified Linkman as the man who had shared a compartment with Bennett that fatal Friday morning. And then the game was up. Confronted with all this and the evidence of the stain on the shoe he'd vainly tried to cover up with shoe polish, Linkman confessed to his crime. And today that same shoe can be seen occupying a place in the Black Museum. The trial was held at Newcastle with an eminent counsel retained to defend the prisoner, but inevitably the sordid details of the crime emerged. Linkman, being out of a job and needing money, a chance to make the acquaintance of Wallace Bennett in Newcastle. Learning his new friend carried large sums of money by train every Friday, Linkman carefully planned his crime. But he learned, much to his eternal sorrow, that care must be preserved both before and after murder. A moment's lapse, a few drinks, and it meant the 13 steps and the rope one morning not long afterwards. As the Lord Justice said in sentencing the prisoner, the scales of justice are now balanced. And now until we meet next time in the same place and I tell you another story about the Black Museum, I remain as always, obediently yours.
That was A Tan Shoe, Left Foot, an episode of The Black Museum, the second of 4 radio series about the unusual collection of crime and murder artifacts housed at Scotland Yard, London, England. You're listening to Reimagined Radio. I'm John Barber. Thanks for joining us as we explore 4 radio series, each focused on the Black Museum. The third radio series is Whitehall 1212, written and directed by Willis Cooper, noted for writing Lights Out and Quiet, Please. Looking to separate Whitehall 1212 from the other radio series about the Black Museum, Cooper took an intellectual approach to solving the mysteries of the crimes. He used an all-British cast and maintained a consistent narrative point of view, that of the police investigating each crime. Episodes were hosted by Chief Superintendent John Davidson. Let's listen now to samples from The Blitz Murder Case, a true crime story and the first episode from the radio series Whitehall 1212.
Good afternoon. This Black Museum of ours is rather unique. Everything in it was at one time connected with the successful solution of a crime, or was closely involved in the crime itself. Among the exhibits are others seemingly incongruous objects that in their time served well in the undoing of desperate criminals. Such an exhibit is this one, the fragments of a set of teacups. This collection of shards was the first step in the solution of a frightful crime which occurred during the Blitz of July 1940.
Yes, sir?
Will you please bring me file number 302 MR651, Constable?
302 MR651, sir? Yes, sir. One, sir.
In July 1940, the Battle of Britain was at its height. Thousands of British people died in Britain as a result of enemy action. But in the midst of the very present war, murder went on as usual. Chief Superintendent Peter Carruth received a telephone call at Scotland Yard on the morning of the 3rd of July, a Wednesday.
File 302 MR651, sir.
Thank you. The call was from Chief Constable at Matfield, a Kentish village near Tunbridge. The Chief Constable reported the finding of the bodies of 3 women shot to death and requested the assistance of the CID. Chief Superintendent Carruth drove to Matfield at once with a medical examiner from the Home Office and Detective Sergeant Small, also Scotland Yard. They were met at the scene of the crime by Matfield Chief Constable Thomas Bennett.
Well, here's what happened. In the house, there's Miss Evans, the servant.
Is she dead?
2 holes in her head.
Where are the others?
Mrs. Ames and her daughter Jessica's lying down there in the orchard. Also shot.
They've lived here in Matfield a long time. Have they, Bennett?
And Miss Evans, the servant, has always lived here. Mrs. Ames and her daughter moved here a year ago.
Mrs. Ames a widow?
No. Estranged from her husband, though they're quite friendly. He lives at Piddington.
Oh, yes, I know. I've been there.
Owns a farm.
Does he know about this?
My station sergeant telephoned him this morning, sir. He was in London, but he'll be home this evening. This is her. Miss Margaret Evans, sir. Age 61. Servant. Living in.
Oh. See what you can find out, Bernard.
Right, you are.
Small, get started looking for fingerprints.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to see the others.
Right, sir. If you'll come with me.
What's that over there? Tea things?
Yes, sir. Looks as if she dropped the tray when she saw the murderer.
Have a look at them, too, Small.
All right, sir.
Down this part, sir. The orchard, that's where they are.
Mrs. Ames?
And her daughter, Jessica.
This is the daughter, I suppose.
Right, sir. Her mother's over there, off the path.
Daughter was running away toward the house. Mother was facing the other way. Shot in the back, too.
Aye.
Found anything here in the grass? Cartridge cases, anything?
No, sir. We did find this glove, though, sir. Sorry, I had it in my pocket. Almost forgot it.
Oh, woman's glove. Size 6, I'd say. Hogskin. Shops sell thousands a week. Left hand. Whose is it?
Isn't Mrs. Ames, sir, too small. Or Miss Jessica's either. Too large, I'd say, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yes, I think so.
Maybe the murderer, sir.
We'll see. All you found?
All so far, sir.
Where was the glove?
Oh, over there, sir. I marked the spot with those 2 sticks.
Uh-huh. Alongside the mother's body?
Yes, sir.
Shall we walk back to the house? What are you doing, Small?
I'm trying to fit these cups together, sir.
Well, what about fingerprints? I wanted you to...
I found a good many, sir. They all check with hers.
Oh, how did you know they were hers?
Oh, I took hers. I wish live people's were as easy to take.
No others?
Well, I'm not sure yet, sir. As soon as I get the others down there, I'll make a very thorough check. These cups and saucers.
She dropped them when she saw the murderer, probably.
Quite. But why should there be 4 cups, sir?
4?
One for the mother, one for the daughter, one for the maid, and one for the murderer.
Why, they must have known the murderer.
People don't usually offer a cup of tea to a perfect stranger.
What about this estranged husband of Mrs. Ames? Would he have a motive?
Oh, I don't think so, sir. He used to come visit her, I know, but...
Oh, he did, eh? And he's in London now, you said?
I went down yesterday morning, they said, sir.
Where does he live, do you say?
Piddington, sir, near Oxford.
You take over, Sergeant Small, you and Mr. Bernard. I'll call you from Piddington. I'd like to know whether our friendly ex-husband was really in London yesterday or elsewhere.
At Piddington that afternoon, 70 miles away from Matfield, Jem Davies, the man of all work, explained to Chief Superintendent Carruth that John Ames had not yet returned from London. Miss Viola Masterson, the manager of the Ames farm, however, was at home, recovering from an accident. Carruth spoke to her in her sitting room. Her left arm was in bandages, and she was obviously in slight pain. Carruth sympathized with her.
I'm so sorry to disturb you, Miss Masterson.
It's quite all right. I'll be up and about in a day or so. It pains a little, though, now.
I suppose you've heard about the former Mrs. Ames and her daughter?
I'm so dreadfully sorry. I knew them slightly, you know.
Oh, did you?
I'd have gone over to Matfield if I hadn't been so stupid as to fall off my bicycle and injure my arm. I'm afraid I'm not a very good cyclist. Oh, do you have any clues as to the...
Murderer? Very few at the moment. Very few, I'm afraid.
Oh, what a pity.
Mr. Ames went to London yesterday.
Yes, he was probably in London while his former wife and daughter were murdered. He often stops in to see them on his way. If he'd stopped there yesterday, he might have prevented it.
Yes, yes. I suppose he can account for his movements yesterday.
I'm quite sure he can, Superintendent. I expect him at any moment.
You were here at the farm all day.
I rode about the farm all day on my bicycle until I had the accident.
Ah.
I'm sure Jemmy Davis can confirm that. And the bicycle is still where I left it, where I fell off, unless Jemmy's brought it back.
I see. By the way, have you ever seen this glove before?
Let me see it. No, I'm afraid not.
You've never seen it before?
Never.
Thank you, Miss Masterson.
Is that all you wanted? Aren't you going to wait for Mr. Ames?
Oh, I don't like to disturb you, Miss Masterson. I'll wait out there with Jemmy. It is Jemmy, isn't it?
By all means, talk to Jemmy. I'm sure he'll confirm everything I've said.
Good day, Miss Masterson.
Jemmy Davis was a simple-minded man. He didn't realize that he was talking much too freely to the friendly Scotland Yard man.
Well, it'd be a terrible thing, I expect, but I don't shed no tears for him. I didn't like her nor her daughter neither.
Hated them?
It ain't none of my business, sir. But now, Mr. Ames, he be a real fine man. And she treated him awful bad.
How?
Dug in the manger. Kicks him out, she does. And then when he finally meets a woman he loves, and that woman loving him, she won't give him no divorce.
You seem to know a lot about Mr. Ames' affairs, Jemmy.
Him and me, we be just like that. I'd do anything for that man. Her, too, for that matter.
Who?
Miss Masterson. There. Well, it's pretty clean, ain't it?
Let's see. Clean as I'd ever want a gun to be.
Had it for years. Old-fashioned, like me. But she be a good shotgun. He uses it all the time for rabbits.
Mr. Ames?
Well, buys his own shells, too. Miss Masterson, she's scared of it. Tried to teach her how to shoot it. But she was scared. You couldn't kill a person with this here gun, I says to her. Not unless you got up real close. Funny thing, though. She shot a rabbit with it yesterday. You know, it made her so sick at her stomach when she shot the poor little feller. Never again, she says to me.
Did you see the rabbit, Jemmy?
Well, what were left of it, she were too close. Well, not worth bringing back to cook. You know, I think that's why she fell off her bicycle thinking about it.
Where did she fall?
Well, it was in the meadow yonder. The wheel slipped on the grass.
So you don't think Mr. Ames and Miss Masterson will be upset by Mrs. Ames' death?
Lord bless you, no, sir. Now they can get married. Well, that dog-in-the-manger wife of his. Oh, he must have been the last one to see her alive.
Oh? How's that?
When he stopped to see her on the way to London yesterday.
Chief Superintendent Carew hurried to the local police station, where he put through a trunk telephone call to Matfield. Detective Sergeant Small, the Scotland Yard man, answered the telephone at the murder house.
Small here.
Small, I want you to check at once on something.
Yes, sir.
I want you to make the most diligent inquiries. Get that chief constable there to inquire of every person in Matfield, if necessary, at once, to discover if this man Ames was seen in Matfield yesterday. You got that?
He was seen, sir.
He was?
The postman, sir. We've been making inquiries all over the village of Mrs. Ames' known friends, and we've come across several curious things, sir.
Well?
Well, the postman observed Mr. Ames walking toward this house yesterday afternoon.
He's sure?
Positively identified him, sir. Known him for years. Spoke to him, called him by name, and Ames replied.
What else?
He was carrying a shotgun, sir.
Oh. I discovered here that he intended to visit them. But the gun?
Well, looks as if he's our man, doesn't it?
What else did you discover?
Well, the bicycle belonging to Mrs. Ames is missing.
Oh?
And the porter at the railway station reports a strange woman carrying a parcel arrived in town yesterday, but so far we have been unable to trace her. Then a lorry driver for the gas company at Oxford reports picking up a woman on the highway near here yesterday afternoon. She was wearing one glove.
Oh?
He thinks her bare hand was scratched and bleeding.
Yes?
She explained she'd fallen off her bicycle and was trying to catch a train. He took her to the railway station. And then... Oh, what did you say, sir?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I was speaking to Dr. Bernard, sir. I'll put him on. He wants to speak to you. Thank you. You there, Caruth?
Yes, Bernard.
I've discovered why you didn't find any spent cartridges, Superintendent.
Yes?
The women were killed with a shotgun, probably a .410 shotgun.
Did you recover any of the shot from the bodies?
Yes, quite small pellets, bird shot.
Mark it in evidence and hold it for me. I think those little lead pellets are going to hang someone, Bernard.
Back at the Piddington farm, Chief Inspector Carew found that Ames had returned in his absence. Jamie, the garrulous man of all work, was just leaving. He was going to fetch Miss Masterson's abandoned bicycle, he
I'll
said.
be going out to fetch Miss Masterson's bicycle, sir.
Look here, Jamie. Would you like a half-a-crown?
What for?
That rabbit Miss Masterson shot. Is it near where she left the bicycle?
Oh, furlong or two, sir.
Fetch it back for me.
Aye, sir. Now, I'll fetch the rabbit and show you. But the poor thing will be all full of bird shot, sir.
That'll be all right, Jamie.
Yes?
I'm Chief Superintendent Caruth of Scotland Yard. You're John Ames, hmm?
Yes. You've come about the murder of my wife and daughter.
Yes. May I sit down? I spoke to Miss Masterson, your manager, this afternoon.
She said you were here.
Perhaps if Miss Masterson is strong enough...
Here I am.
Oh, sit down, my dear. Please, sit down.
Don't hurt my hand, John. I'm all right. Well, sir?
Am I correct in assuming that with the death of Mr. Ames' strange wife, you and he...
We can be married, yes.
Mr. Ames?
That's true. My wife has consistently refused to give me a divorce. Although we were on fairly good terms...
She and I weren't. I'm glad she's dead.
Violet,
And
yes.
that horrid daughter of hers, too. Now we're rid of them once and for all.
Violet.
Do you share Miss Masterson's views, Mr. Ames?
I'm afraid...
And perhaps he's not as ferocious as I am, but he shares my views all right. Don't you, John?
Yes.
And what were you doing with a shotgun on the way to our home yesterday, Mr. Ames?
John, you didn't. You didn't.
Mr. Ames!
Tell me. Oh, John, now you've spoiled everything.
Your wife and your daughter were murdered with a shotgun, Mr. Ames.
I didn't do
He
it.
didn't, I say.
What gauge is your shotgun, Mr. Ames?
This is absurd, Mr.
Yes, of course it's
Why
absurd.
do you think it's absurd?
My dear sir, my gun, which incidentally is an American-made Remington over and under 12 gauge, has been broken for 4 weeks.
You see?
Broken?
The sear spring is broken. It's quite impossible to fire the gun. You can examine the gun at your leisure at Henry McGovern's The Gunsmiths on High Holborn in London, where I took it yesterday.
We'll check that. Why did you visit your wife yesterday, carrying your broken gun?
I dropped off in Matfield on my way to London to have the gun repaired. I begged her again to give me a divorce.
She refused?
She refused again.
For the last time. And we're going to be married now at last. Don't expect us to weep for her. Whoever killed her should be given a medal.
Viola.
Oh, stop it. You're just as glad as I am. Aren't you?
Excuse me. The telephone. Yes? Yes, he's here. One moment. It's for you, Mr. Caruth.
Thank you. Chief Superintendent Caruth here.
Small here, sir. We found Mrs. Ames' missing bicycle.
Oh.
Yes, sir. It was discovered in a ditch close to the place where the lorry driver picked up the woman with one glove.
Oh, good.
And there are numerous fingerprints on the handlebar, sir, but of the right hand only.
Most interesting.
And the strange woman whom the railway reporter observed was carrying a parcel, you remember?
Yes, of course.
Well, it was a long parcel about the length of a gun, he says, wrapped in brown paper.
I see. Have you taken the things you spoke about?
Things, sir?
Yes.
Oh, the fingerprints on the bicycle?
Yes, quite.
Yes, sir, I've taken them.
How soon could I see them and the people you spoke of?
Up there, sir?
Yes.
Well, there's enough train that we can have stop at Pittington, leaving here in half an hour, sir.
I think you'd better come then, if you can find the others you mentioned. I'll meet you at the Pittington station.
Right, sir.
Goodbye. I'm very sorry.
Could I ask? You have uncovered some other evidence, sir?
You're not going to arrest John, then? He won't be charged with murder?
I think I can almost assure you that you will not be charged with murder, Mr. Ames. I'm sorry, I must go and meet my colleagues. This is quite important.
Will you be coming back?
I probably shall. I shall want to be able to assure Mr. Ames that he will not be held.
Oh, John.
Is the Scotland Yard man still here, Mr. Ames?
Why,
I'm here, Jemmy.
Well, I fetch you the dead rabbit, sir, with your half-crown's worth of birdshot.
They met him at the railway station 2 hours later. Detective Sergeant Small, Chief Constable Bennett, the lorry driver who had picked up the woman with the bloody hand and the one glove, and the railway porter who had observed the woman carrying the brown paper parcel the size of a gun. Leaving Chief Constable Bennett at the station to make a telephone call, the party proceeded to the Ames farm.
Oh. Good evening, Mr. Caruth.
May we come in, please?
I suppose. Do come in, although...
Thank you. Where's Miss Masterson?
Viola?
Yes, dear. Why, what...
Miss Masterson, do you recognize any of these people?
Why, no, of course not.
Patterson, do you recognize this woman?
She's the lady in blue slacks I picked up my lorry on the road in Matfield yesterday. The lady that said she fell off her bike. Her hand was all bloody and she had one glove on.
Like this one?
Yes, sir. Exactly like that.
O'Connor.
Yes, sir?
Have you ever seen this lady before?
I seen her yesterday, sir. Getting off the 1206 train that passes through Pittington before it gets to Batfield. She was wearing blue slacks and carried a brown paper parcel about the size of a gun, sir.
Now, look here, what's the meaning of all this?
Come in. Well, Bennett.
Just like you thought, sir. I telephoned the doctor who treated Miss Masterson, and he informs me that he treated her left hand for multiple lacerations, removing particles of road gravel and stains of tarvia from the palm. Miss Masterson, there is no gravel or tarvia at the meadow.
Thank you. Mr. Ames, I'm extremely sorry for you.
John?
Now we won't get married.
Viola Masterson, I arrest you on the charge of willful
I
murder.
wanted to get married, and she stood in our
And I
way,
must
John.
warn you that anything you say will be taken down and may be used in evidence against you.
John, what have I done?
The evidence adduced by Chief Superintendent Carruth, the identifications by the lorry driver and the railway porter, the shotgun pellets which proved identical with those Miss Masterson had fired into the unfortunate rabbit, the glove which was identified as hers by the store which had sold it to her, the gravel from the road in her wounded hand, and the motive, which was all too plain, proved sufficient evidence to convict Viola Masterson of the murders of Mrs. Ames and her daughter, and of the servant, Margaret Evans, who provided the first cue, the fourth cup. Miss Masterson had determined to murder the servant to eliminate the only witness to the murder of the others. In a trial marked with frequent air raid alarms caused by an enemy whose depredations could not prevent murder from going on as usual, she was found criminally insane and is now imprisoned in the asylum at Broadmoor. John Ames was tried as an accomplice, but acquitted. He joined the 1st Battalion of the Buffs and was reported missing in action in the Italian campaign.
The Blitz murder case exemplifies Scotland Yard's thorough investigative work amid wartime challenges. If you'd like to learn more about the London Blitz, listen to Edgar R. Murrow reporting in our Proximity Report episode. You can find it at our website, reimaginedradio.fm. This is Reimagined Radio, a program about sound-based storytelling. I'm John Barber, producer and host. With each episode, we explore classic and contemporary audio drama, reimagining radio's rich storytelling tradition and reintroducing listeners to forgotten or overlooked works that continue to resonate today. Here are some examples from previous episodes.
The train was coming closer. I could hear its bell, its cry, its whistle crying. Still, he stood there. Now I knew that he was beckoning me to my death.
The most important thing is to recapture the mechanical peak.
Reimagined Radio. Nothing to see, everything to hear.
More information about listening opportunities, including our YouTube channel, is available at our website, reimaginedradio.fm. Fabian of the Yard is the 4th radio series about Scotland Yard's Black Museum. Produced 1952 to 1953 by Towers of London in Sydney, Australia, the series starred Guy Dolman and Ron Roberts. 4 episodes of the radio series are known to survive. One is entitled The Man Who Escaped from Hell. It's a true story about Thomas Edward Eddie Guerin, famous for his escape from the French penal colony of Moroni, near Devil's Island, French Guiana, 1904. Let's listen to samples from The Man Who Escaped from Hell.
It was 1928, and although Robert Fabian had passed his examination for detective sergeant 3 years before, they hadn't yet promoted him. He was spending his leisure hours prowling the foyers of London hotels, seeking crime. He became interested in the behavior of a white-haired old man who was acting furtively whilst pretending to read a newspaper. From behind a potted palm, probably appearing no less furtive than the old man, the detective watched him as he got up from his seat and picked up an expensive-looking suitcase belonging to a guest and moved it over near his seat.
I'm arresting you on a charge of loitering with intent to steal. I'm sorry, old chap, but it's as much for your own good as anything else.
Fabian took the old man's thin arm as gently as he could and escorted him to Vine Street Police Station. When they walked in, the station sergeant's eyes widened with surprise.
Hello. What's he been doing?
Lodging with intent, Sarge. Why, do you know him?
I thought everybody in the force knew him. That's Eddie Gearin you've got there, my boy.
Gearin? Not the Eddie Gearin?
That's right. A man who escaped from Devil's Island.
Good Lord! The amazement in Fabian's voice was profound, for like most people, he'd heard of the famous case of Eddie Gearin, who had robbed the American Express Company's offices in Paris and taken £40,000 from the safe. He was sentenced to life imprisonment and shipped to Devil's Island. The tale of his escape, his hardships and endurance, is one of the classics of criminology. Fabian took him for a meal and watched him as he cautiously tackled the plate of bacon and eggs.
Why don't you give it up, Eddie? You've got a good story behind you. You could sell it to a magazine or a newspaper, and that'd give you a lump sum of money to make a new start.
You know what they do? They chain your wrists and ankles. They put you in a steel cell in the steel corridor on the French prison train. It shunts and jolts all over France from jail to jail until it's filled with men. Then you march, chained in batches of 4 to the little seaport where the prison ship waits. You go below into steel cages. 50 men to each cage. At first they're hazy with steam, and you wonder why. Well, the warders have been testing the steam pipes. They can squirt scalding steam into those cages, stew the meat off your bones at the first sign of a riot.
Eddie, let's not talk about it. Wait until you're feeling better, eh?
It doesn't make you feel very human. The voyage goes on about 3 weeks. 1 hour on deck each day, that's all. At night, men twitch and cry in their sleep. It's funny. By the inspection lamp, you can see big-bearded men fast asleep with tears running out of their shut eyes. Some men go overboard during exercise hour. They don't stop the ship. The warders just shrug. He's better where he is, they say. That's encouraging, isn't it?
Fabian murmured something, but the old man didn't seem to hear. His eyes were nearly closed, his mind making that painful journey back through time. The cracked voice took on a new, vibrant quality as it told of the mainland prison in French Guiana, of the bit of rock out to sea known as Devil's Island, holding only about 24 men, mostly political prisoners. The warders had given Gearin some tools and said, "You've got a week to build yourself a hut, my little brave one. If you can't do it, we'll find you a hole in the rock on St. Joseph Island."
That was the worst place, that St. Joseph. Those holes. You couldn't quite stretch out full length. There was no sunlight, just a plank to sleep on. After a few weeks in darkness, your eyes get gummy and sore and sealed up. The insects were thick in them because they weren't often cleaned out. I don't mean just mosquitoes, son. You understand? Sometimes poisonous centipedes 2 feet long. I've known men chuckle like kids on Christmas morning to find a giant centipede in the hole with them. They'd pick it up and flail themselves with it, then scream for the guard as the poison puffed out their skin like necklaces of red sausages. You see, that way they got a spell on the hospital island, St. Royal.
How long were you on Devil's Island, Eddie?
I couldn't say, son. A couple of years, maybe. I was well behaved. I didn't intend to stay there and rot to death. So at last they sent me to the mainland, to St. Laurent, on the edge of the jungle, on the Moroni River across to Dutch Guiana.
Was that the escape route?
Escape route? You've seen the alligator pool at London Zoo? Well, the Moroni River was like that. Shiny logs on red mud banks, except that when you rippled the water, those logs would blink their eyes and slide in after you. And beyond that was just jungle for 400
steady
miles.
On, Eddie, steady, old chap.
Yes, you're quite right, son. It was all a long time ago. Let's forget it, eh?
On that day so many years ago when I talked with that old man, I think I came as near as any living man has been to extracting the true tale of the epic escape of Eddie Gearin from Devil's Island. Nobody knows the details of the escape, and nobody ever will, because Eddie himself died on December the 5th, 1940, in a public institution at Bury in Lancashire. He was 80 years old. A sad ending for a man with strength enough to escape from hell.
That was a sample from The Man Who Escaped from Hell, an episode of Fabian of the Yard, the final of 4 radio series we're exploring about the Black Museum, a collection of ordinary objects associated with crime and murder held at Scotland Yard, headquarters for London's Metropolitan Police. If you'd like to know more about Eddie Guerin, check out his memoir titled I Was a Bandit, published in 1929, and the episode page at our website, reimaginedradio.fm. This episode of Reimagined Radio samples from 4 different radio series focusing on Scotland Yard's collection of everyday objects associated with crime and murder, known widely as the Black Museum. Reimagined Radio is produced in collaboration with the Electronic Literature Lab at Washington State University, Vancouver. Our programs are broadcast and streamed by partner community radio stations KXRW-FM, Vancouver, Washington, KXRY-FM, Portland, Oregon, KNOM-AM, Nome, Alaska, and beginning with this episode, Galloway's Star 24 Internet Radio, Galloway, New Jersey. Welcome to all you new listeners. Enjoy listening and send your comments to info@reimaginedradio.fm. Thanks to Mark Rose for sound design, original music, and post-production. Holly Slocum for project leadership and lead graphic design. Evan Layden for graphic design and 2D animation. Rylan Eisenhower for announcing and YouTube strategies. Caitlin Kruger-Lesperance for social media strategies. Follow Reimagined Radio on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, Blue Sky, LinkedIn, and our YouTube channel, @Reimagined Radio. Visit our website, reimagineradio.fm, for scripts and information about our episodes. Subscribe to the Reimagined Radio podcast, and we'll send you each new episode as soon as it's released. I'm John Barber, producer and host. It's a pleasure sharing this episode with you. Thank you for listening.
This is a production of Reimagined Radio. To learn more, visit our website, reimagineradio, all one word, no punctuation, .fm. Please join us for another episode of Reimagined Radio as we continue our exploration of sound-based storytelling.